There we go. Oh, that's not good. All right, we'll put this bad boy back up here. I've had this happen once or twice.
Change in temperature.
Right. All right, we can adjust that.
That's coming toward me.
All right.
Before we start today's show, please visit the sponsors, affiliates, and friends of the Stagecoach. The Self-Defense Gun Stories podcast, hosted by Rob Morse, brings you recent examples of armed civilians protecting themselves and who they love. The show helps you determine if people were lucky or trained, maybe both. Self-Defense Gun Stories is on all of your favorite podcast outlets. TheGunFood.com has an extensive network of partners to connect you with your guns, ammunition, and firearm training. The Gun Food only sells ammo that they trust. Use RSWC as a discount code and save 5.56% on your order at thegunfood.com. PowerTac flashlights have combined premium craftsmanship, American ingenuity, and cutting-edge technology, creating a highly dependable tool that you can trust your life with. Go to powertac.com/RSWC and save 15% on your order. That's powertac.com/RSWC. Sabre Pepper Spray has been making grown men cry since 1975. Find the link in the show description and help get the Stagecoach across America with every Sabre Red purchase you make.
Shotgun with Charlie.
Riding shotgun refers to the practice of sitting next to the driver in a moving vehicle. The term riding shotgun came around after the time of the Stagecoach, when somebody used to sit next to the driver holding a shotgun, in case they ran into bandits. My name is Charlie Cook, and I drive a lot. I like to talk to people while I'm driving, so I interview people in my car while I'm driving. Welcome to Riding Shotgun with Charlie.
All right, before we start this episode of Riding Shotgun with Charlie, if you are new to the channel, please make sure you hit the subscribe and the notification button. I think they say smash that is what the kids say on the YouTube. So please subscribe to the channel if you're watching the show. If you're listening to the show on podcast, please subscribe to the podcast feed as well, so you'll get new shows when they come out. And if you enjoy the show, you need to share it with a friend, because that is how we get the Stagecoach across America. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of Riding Shotgun with Charlie. Today we are coming to you from Palmyra, Virginia, and we have Brad Landseadel from the Central Virginia Sporting Clays. Thank you so much for being on the show.
No
this
problem
is where you
whatsoever.
Shake my hand.
Oh, yeah.
There
you go.
This is how we do all this,
I
right?
thought you were pointing at me.
No.
There, get out.
Get out. It's his shotgun card. I can't kick him out.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to drive around your property.
Let's go have a look.
Let's go check this out.
what
This
we
is
got
going to be
here.
quiet. We're not going to have a lot of car noise. The cameras will shake, but that'll be fine. We're on your property here in Palmyra, the Central Virginia Sporting Clays.
Yes.
How long have you guys been around?
We started in 2007.
2007. Very cool. Well, we're down here because over the summer, I came down here with Cam Edwards from Bearing Arms and with John Petrolino, the Penn Patriot. And we came down here to do some sporting clays with Cam, and we got to talking with you. You tell us some jokes. You're interesting. You got some good jokes. You got some good stories. And John was like, hey, he would be great to have on the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
So we decided to come back down here and do some sporting clays, and we're riding in a shotgun cart, and we're going the path around the property here.
Right.
This is really cool. All right, how did you become a gun guy?
Well,
Like you were telling us you had a career in construction.
I did.
All right,
You know,
let's talk about that.
I worked for the federal government before that, and then I left them and I went into construction when I married my wife.
Yeah.
And we moved down here on retirement, and I couldn't find a place to go shoot that was open to the public. All these around here, most of the places are private gun clubs, and there's a waiting list. And I said,
Yeah.
you know what? I can fix that. So I started a little shooting range, which grew on its own. I haven't been real good at making it grow, but it does. I don't know, the dang thing works. People want to shoot. People want to come out and have a good time.
Yeah.
And it's open to the public, and that's all there is to it.
That's
come
all
on
there is
out
to
and
it.
shoot and enjoy.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning into this episode. No.
Yeah, that's it.
So how did you grow up hunting or shooting?
My case,
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in the military. Grew up all over the U.S. and traveled abroad as well with my father, and never found home until I moved here.
Really?
Yeah, this is the first place in my mind I call home.
And this is where you retired.
Yeah, this is the first time in my life I felt like I'm actually home.
That's really cool.
Mainly through the people and contacts I've met through shooting.
Yeah, shooting people are legit the greatest.
But we don't shoot people.
Shooting people.
Shooting
It's
people.
an adjective. Right?
Okay,
It's an adjective. Not an action. No,
not a verb.
Not a verb. Right. So I'm a band teacher, not an English.
Not an English teacher.
That's
okay.
right.
No
So, did you grow up shooting and hunting when you were young?
No.
Like
No.
Wasn't anything. And then when did it become a thing?
Well, I was a big basketball fanatic. I played a lot of basketball and was playing basketball one day and blew out my knee. Pretty bad event. And after surgeries and fixing and all that, my wife got mad at me moping around the house and drove me to a shooting range and said, "Here, try this."
Really?
For real.
That's
and,
cool.
She said, "Try this," and I did. I found out what wonderful people do this. How nice everyone was to welcome in a guy that had never really shot a gun before in his life. And I took to it like a duck to water. And,
That's great.
Moved down here, couldn't find a shooting range, so I started my own.
That's really, really pretty incredible. It really is. What I love about hearing about people's stories is how they get into things and how they do what they do, and this is really cool. What brought you to the shotgun sports rather than handgun
my wife
shooting?
drove me out to the shooting range. That was a shotgun shooting range.
Gotcha.
And she said, "I'm tired of you moping around the house. Get out and do something." And I found the camaraderie and the friendship and the competitiveness that I was missing from basketball. And she offered this as an example of something to do. Not, you don't have to do it, but
right. Do something, get out of the house.
Yeah, do something. Try, and I met some wonderful people through this sport. Some of my lifelong friends have come out of this sport.
That's really cool. 16 years, no advertising?
And I've been shooting quite a bit longer than that. That's just 16 years here at Central Virginia Sporting Clays.
Gotcha.
And no advertising because I don't really know how to turn a computer on. So this is a bizarre thing to be talking to someone that does a podcast. I think when you first got here, I asked you, "What's that?"
When you're like, "What's a podcast?" You're like, "How do I do this? How do I watch this show?" You're like, I remember you telling us when we were here before. You're like, "You know what? Send me an email and then text me to tell me to you sent me an email."
I do know how to text.
Right.
So
yeah, it was send me an email and then send me a text to tell me you sent me an email, and I'll look at the email.
I'll try to find it.
Right. That's so cool. So you do you have to? What do you have to do to start your own shotgun range?
Well, that's the hard part. That's where getting it through the county and having the permitting process can be onerous.
Sure.
And that's part of the reason why I really want this thing to continue, because it's so hard to get a new one in today. In today's world.
This is all your property.
It is.
Like you said, you have 400 acres here?
It's a little bit under 400 acres. I bought it little by little. So originally I bought 95 acres. I went and applied for the permit based on that 95 acres.
Yeah.
And I got a permit that allowed me to shoot where we shoot now. And wait for the vibration to stop.
I don't think the vibration's going to stop.
Okay.
I don't know if there's some editing software that'll
take out some
of the shakes.
Yeah, the shakes could be really bad. We may have to stop and talk. I don't know.
We could do that too.
Where was I? In the middle of something.
About 95 acres.
About 95 acres. And then off to our left here, this 50-acre parcel came up for sale, and I was able to negotiate the purchase of that, and that bought me what I call more buffer, more space to, to keep homes from moving too close, and
that's
keep the neighbors further back.
Yeah, absolutely. I belong to a range, and they have. This is completely nuts. It's in central Massachusetts. They built a neighborhood across the street.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody found a spotted frog, and that delayed the construction for a while. And then after they found a spotted frog, they couldn't build for a while. And then
in the neighborhood, you mean?
Yeah.
Or on
no, in the neighborhood.
Right.
So they couldn't build there, and then they rehoused the or whatever. They moved the spotted frog somewhere else. Then what's crazy is that's been there for probably 10 years. The property that's just in front, when you drive 60 yards down the driveway to get to the range.
Yes.
Somebody built houses. Somebody bought that property and built houses in front of them. So legit, there's probably 30. I'm going to say 30 feet, but it might not even be that much from the back of where the firing lines are to when you get to people's property.
Right.
You used to look through the trees and not see a thing, and now you look through the trees and you can see houses.
Well, my nearest neighbor here is just under a mile away from me through the woods.
Through the woods,
so that's
gotcha.
The closest neighbor.
Yeah.
And been fairly rural. The closest neighbor is lives in the middle of a 300-acre parcel.
Yeah.
So that's the closest neighbor to here.
That's pretty wild.
And then the next closest neighbor is about a mile away.
Gotcha.
And then over the years, I've found another parcel that was adjacent to another part of my property, a 75-acre parcel, and I was able to buy that. And part of the way I've been doing it, part of the way I've been buying it is I buy it, and then I'll take some of the timber off of it for profit, and then use that timber to help me buy the next parcel.
Ah, very cool.
And then replant the timber. So this timber you're looking at right here, has I planted those trees.
Really? That's pretty cool.
So these are 22-year-old trees.
That's pretty wild. That's really cool.
Yeah.
How do you turn all this into a business? How do you, you've got to have a lot of stuff. We went through the course yesterday, and I'm like, how do they have all these things wired to all the, all the clay throwers? Is it all, you don't have wires because you change it around all the time?
I change the course every 30 days just to mess with the customers.
So speaking of messing with the customers, so one of the things I got a bone to pick with them.
Yeah.
Some of this stuff's pretty difficult, and we did the white course.
That's the hardest. That's the hardest course.
Is it?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, come on. So you left yesterday because you locked yourself out of your house.
I did lock myself out of the house first time in 25 years.
So we had to. We went in. We had one of the guys go back into the clubhouse.
Right.
And he's he found a clipboard and
the score sheet.
The score sheet.
It was white.
It was orange.
It was orange. That's easier. And the red one's even easier.
This is important stuff to tell people.
I should have told you that. I was worried about getting back into my house.
I understand. So so we ended up doing the white ones because we thought the white one was the easier one.
No.
Yeah, we got that.
Incorrect.
We got that.
Bad information.
All right, so
that's our tournament course.
Gotcha. Okay,
So,
I will say that for sure.
Yeah.
At one point, we're looking right into the sun to hit some clays.
And
that's not your fault.
That is trouble this time of year. And I will readjust that going into the fall for a couple of the stations that look toward the south.
Yeah.
Ideally, if the county had let me, I would have had every station facing to the north, so the sun would always be behind you and illuminating the targets better, but the county didn't know how to work with me in that way.
Gotcha. Okay. Because we were doing the course yesterday, and we're like, man, if this is the easy one, these are really hard. Brad must have been hitting the sauce when he planned this out.
Yeah, well.
So the white one's the hard course. This is good information to know.
Yeah, no, you did it backwards.
Yes, we did. This is why
everything will seem be uphill from here. I mean, downhill from here. I mean, downhill.
So downhill, this is what I don't get. Trying to figure out the language about things. Uphill is difficult, right?
I would think so. I did it.
Right.
I said that backwards also, kind of like you yesterday.
Downhill means things can get out of control.
They could.
Right?
They
like
could,
it goes a little fast, a little out of control. It's a little scary. So I never know which one's the bad one, uphill or downhill.
Downhill is typically, I'm doing it in bicycle reference in that it's easier to pedal.
Easier to pedal. Gotcha. Okay. All right, yeah, because downhill, I'm like, dude, downhill gets out of control. You got to hit the brakes. Could be a little frantic.
So I do have, out here, you asked earlier about the trap machines.
Yeah.
So on most of the stations, I have 4 traps on most all stations. And they're all radio controlled. So there's a discrete radio frequency for each of the traps.
Okay.
Or a code within a frequency that allows you to launch an individual or a true pair at the same time. And you can mix and match, make it, another thing, you can make it any way you'd like. So you don't have to even follow any menu if you don't want.
Yeah, we thought we were following the easy one, and holy crap, these things are flying to the left and the right. And we're like, geez, man, this is crazy.
Oh, we have fun with it.
Yeah, it was. Look, it was fun regardless.
I haven't left a single target out there. I don't leave any of them if I can't hit them.
Very cool.
So that's kind of my bellwether. If I after I set all the targets, I come out and I think I've set a good target, and I get to the station and I can't hit it, I'm thinking, that may be a little tough.
So how much? Like, what kind of a shotgun experience do you have to? I know you don't have to have it to set up the course, but if you're going to do it your own, on yourself.
For people who might want to do this on their farm, that kind of thing?
No, like if, what kind of, did you go through trap shooting and skeet shooting and then lead to sporting clays?
I did shoot trap and skeet, and that was what I originally started with, and as soon as I found sporting clays, I was hooked. It's you're not going to shoot nearly as good a score because it's so varied, and it's up to the trap setter on what he throws and when he throws it. It's more like the real world, I think.
Yeah.
And to date, no one here has ever shot a perfect score.
All right, I can see that.
So, and if someone's getting real close, I tighten them up a little bit.
And come back in 30 days.
And not that they're all that hard, but I try to make sure that there are some challenging targets for the top shooters as well as targets that the newer shooters can still hit.
Yeah.
Hence the red course, in case you didn't remember that, the red course in our case for the easier is the.
Gotcha.
I wouldn't call it super easy, but it's definitely easier than the white course. That's
right.
For sure.
Yeah, because I thought red was super hot. So, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we're all radio control. You can even do this game here at our shooting range by yourself. We have a way to put in a delay, so you push the buttons, and 3 seconds later the target goes, or 4 seconds, or 2 seconds, whatever your delay you would like.
Yeah.
And then we can even delay targets in between targets, so you can throw a first target.
Oh, okay.
And as you're shooting it, the next target would go.
Gotcha.
So that you can simulate you having a trapper to push the buttons for you. And I did all that for me, so when I come out here by myself to practice, if I'm alone, I can still participate in the game.
What's the favorite shotgun that you like to use?
I have a couple. To me, the number one important thing about a shotgun is that it goes bang every time you pull the trigger.
Obviously, yeah.
And the next most important thing, over brand, over what you like, what you don't like, is that it fits you properly. So that when you put the gun up to your shoulder, to your face, that it is pointing where you're looking. And that's the most important thing. For me, I happen to have a Caesar Guarini that fits me beautifully.
This sounds expensive.
I think it's a lot of bang, no pun intended, a lot of bang for the buck.
Yeah.
But I also have a couple of Berettas. I shoot Brownings as well. I know there are a lot of other gun manufacturers out there that make really wonderful guns. We have a lot of Kohlers and Kriegoffs that people love. Now you're getting into a little bit more money.
Right. You were telling us that somebody
with some Holland and Hollands.
Oh, right. Like sequential serial numbers
with lots of big bucks.
Right. Yeah, I think that would freak me out a little bit.
Yeah, I don't even want to handle them. They're like, here, look at my gun. Like, I don't think so.
Right. Point to me.
Yeah, I'll put it in the gun rack or set it down. I'll look at it from over here because I don't want to put a ding in it. I'm afraid to set targets that way because what if a piece of clay comes over here and touches his gun? So I have to be careful when I set targets to make sure that the customers stay safe. And
sure, there was there were a couple. I will say this. So we were doing the white course. We didn't know we were supposed to do the red or the yellow or the orange course.
Well, maybe that would be my fault. Had I not locked myself out of the house,
Right.
I may have
a little distracted. We get it. That's totally
I was
cool.
trying to figure out how to break into my own
break
home.
in your own house, right?
And unfortunately, I have a very secure facility, and it's difficult.
Right.
Dang it.
You don't make it difficult. You don't make it easy for anyone else or you.
Exactly. So.
Some of the clays were coming up pretty quickly at sharp angles, and we couldn't see them until there was one that was the clays, because we missed them, were crashing into the tree over here.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, holy crap, I didn't hear anything until I saw it just before it hit the tree. I'm like, holy moly, man.
Well, we try to put our signs out so we give you an idea where to look to find the target in the first place. I can't help it if you don't know how to look.
There's not so much you can do.
But we can always help you if you need some help.
That's cool.
I don't have a lot of employees. In fact,
Right.
don't have any really. Run it mostly by myself with some volunteer help.
Yeah.
So it's been an interesting go out here.
Very, very cool.
It's kind of a retirement gig for me.
Kind of a retirement gig.
Yeah.
How often are you guys open?
Well, we're open Thursday through Sunday,
Yeah.
9 to 5, except Sundays we're not allowed to open till noon.
Till noon, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right, for the neighbors that are a mile away.
Yes, for the church that's 7 miles away, yes.
Okay. In case the bullets travel that far?
I guess, I don't know. No, I'm supposed to be.
Oh, you're supposed to be at
I'm
church.
supposed to be
Gotcha.
there.
Well, I think the deal with church is you can ask for forgiveness.
That's correct.
This is what I understand, right?
I mean, there are some churches people go on Saturday.
This is true, so they can sleep in on
They
Sunday.
can sleep in on Sunday. Yeah,
There
absolutely.
you go.
So,
You have
my church is out here at the shooting range.
Oh my gosh! So I went to I think it was Clark Brothers.
Yes,
Do you know the gun store?
I do.
Okay, they have church on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I came down here once before, and I stopped there. Coming from occupied territory, I try to find pre-94 high cap Glock magazines
Mm-hmm.
because he was telling me, he's like, we couldn't sell these on Gunbroker, and I'm like, oh, well, where I live, you can buy them for $125. So I'd like to buy them at dirt cheap down here, and then turn around and make a couple of bucks. Which I guess what Joe Biden would say, that would turn me into an arms dealer, and I'd have to pay extra tax on that crap. But anyway, he was saying that they have church services at Clark Brothers on Sunday mornings at the range, and then they do a shoot.
Then they do a shoot. I have a group from the local Baptist church that come over here, a men's group, after service on Sundays.
Oh, that's cool.
Sometimes, not all the time, but they have in the past come over. And I've had several male fellowships from church groups come over. We have quite a few women's groups that come out. So it's been an interesting mix of people that come out here. From and part of the thing I really like about this sport in general is when we're out here shooting, it's all an even platform. It doesn't matter whether you're the lowliest person on the totem pole on the economic scale or the billionaire that comes out to shoot, because we certainly had them shooting together in a squad. And they're the same. They're equal here. One of my favorite things about this sport is when I see multiple generations of the same family come out and shooting together. I've had one group out here that had the great grandson, the grandson, the son, and the grandparents. So 4 generations. And the best part for me was the best shot in the group was the great grandmother.
Really?
Now, she didn't have the stamina to do a lot of it, but
Right.
when she shot, she was very good.
That's cool.
And it was fun to see, and fun to see her show up the kids,
Yeah, absolutely.
and their look on their faces when they're like, "Grandma," like, what the heck,
That's so cool. So cool. You guys, you really provide for the other than telling them which course to shoot. You rent shotguns. You've got ammo here. Do you have to have a special FFL for selling ammo?
I don't for selling ammo.
Okay. And not for renting the guns either. Like they're all yours. Your guns.
They're my guns,
They belong to the range.
Yeah.
Very cool. And you have a variety of shotguns people can rent?
Yeah, mostly semi-autos, only because of the cost of them. I buy them Every gun that I have are nice. They're mostly Berettas, and we rent them out. And I really only rent them for the time. I charge about $20, which is about the amount of time I pay someone to clean them afterwards.
Gotcha.
So I'm not making anything on doing that, because I want people to come out and shoot and enjoy the sport.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you let people bring their own ammo, bring their own guns.
It has to be number 7.5, number 8, or number 9 size shot.
Yep.
Which is typical for clay target games. You can't shoot any magnum loads or anything bigger than that.
Right.
We don't allow any more than 2 shells in the gun at a time, even if the guns hold them, because our game is a 2-shot game.
Yep. That makes sense.
It's all about safety. Everything here, the number 1 priority here is safety. Number 2 priority is having fun. Number 3 is breaking targets, kind of in that order. We want you to be safe for sure. Secondly, I want you to have fun and enjoy yourself out here in the woods. I mean, what more of a beautiful day than something like this out here going for a stroll on a trail around out in the woods. Oh my
God, absolutely.
So,
what was I just thinking?
Would you like to hear something totally unfair?
Absolutely.
This is unfair.
Okay.
You ready?
Break it to me easy.
This is me at work.
That's awesome. According to my accountant, this is a hobby for me. What was I thinking? Renting guns, ammo.
Yeah.
People come down and shoot.
You got to wear eye protection, ear protection, just like anywhere else.
Just like any place else, of course.
And even if you don't want to, you really should.
Oh yeah, of course.
All the old people that come in here, and I say old people because I'm kind of old too, but most of the old people that come in here to shoot that have grown up doing this, they're all deaf. The bad news for me is they can't hear when I give them the bill.
That's when you turn the iPad
around so they can see what it is.
Point to the ad tip and then
absolutely.
And then next.
So
20%, that's all we have.
That's all we have.
Oh my God, that's great.
Isn't that funny? But a lot of them that grew up doing this that weren't wearing hearing protection, they've damaged their hearing. And I have been fortunate that I still have all my hearing.
Yeah.
Well, 80%. Or whatever it is. I don't know what it is. I'm going to keep what I got.
As long as it works.
So I wear hearing protection whenever I'm out on the range.
That's cool.
Or around anything else that's really loud.
Oh, sure.
Like airplanes.
Yes, I don't know. How much more do we need to talk about guns before we talk about airplanes?
Oh, I like airplanes too.
Oh my gosh. You have 3 airplanes. When we first came down, you said you had 2 airplanes. Now you have 3.
I do own 3 airplanes at this time.
That is so cool.
So,
you got your own hangar.
I do.
So we are going to try to come down here in the future and do a show from the airplane, but
no problem.
That'll be so cool.
It'll be fun.
We have some.
We can fly over the shooting range, take some pictures from above.
Great. Did you guys get this on a what do they call those little cameras? The what are the little things that fly around? The drone? Do you guys use this in a drone? No, we did it on a plane ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
It was my view with my eyeballs that I saw it. Right, exactly.
That's cool. So let's talk about planes. You started all of this, all of your airplane addictions, not a healthy addiction to airplanes, healthy addiction to flying.
I mean, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't womanize. I have airplanes and guns. So
perfect. Sign me up. Oh my God. You said all of this started because you won a door at an auction.
I won a hangar door at a air show, and so I got this hangar door and no hangar, so had to build a hangar.
You already had this area.
I owned the property.
Okay, you owned the property,
and but it all was timber like this. I had to timber an area, build a runway. The free door was quite expensive.
Right. So kids, sometimes the things that are free are not really free.
Absolutely.
Ends up being a very expensive hobby,
right,
or business that you turn into.
So, the shooting is a business.
Yeah.
So
the flying's for fun.
Yeah, sometimes.
Oh,
I do have a commercial license, and sometimes I fly other people's airplanes for hire.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
that is way cool. Yeah, I'll see if I can add some video in here. You got me in the plane. We rode on the ground a little bit.
Yeah, we taxied around a little bit.
We taxied around, and then next time we'll come back and get on the plane.
We'll go fly.
That'll be awesome.
We got to figure out how to work the audio.
Yes. Yeah, we got to figure out how to do that.
I'm sure you can do it. I
have the ability. I have the power. Right,
okay.
or at least I have YouTube. I can check it out.
Someone else can tell you. Yeah,
exactly.
There you go.
That's the way to do it.
That's how I do things. That's how I learned to take the automatic apart the first time.
Oh my gosh. I have the shotgun that I handle the most for teaching classes is a Mossberg 500.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate taking it apart. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I hate taking it apart. Every time I take it apart, I got to watch a video. So I'm like, I'm not going to shoot this so I don't have to take it apart.
Well, then you buy an over and under because there's nothing really
there's
to
not.
do.
Yeah, I don't have an over under yet. I have one of the shotguns I inherited was my father's Browning Light 12, which has got the humpback, like kind of like an A5.
An A5.
Somewhere. And yeah, so that one's I had to learn how to take that apart.
Mm-hmm. Does the barrel move?
The barrel does move, which is kind of weird.
It is weird. You get the things moving on you when you're shooting.
Yes.
Right.
I remember the first time. We
just think of the amount of recoil it absorbs.
There's not too much recoil with it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I remember the first time, like, fondling the hardware, not really knowing what things were. The guns I have, were old guns. Like I said, I inherited them from my father. I didn't find an owner's manual, and I didn't look for an owner's manual.
YouTube.
This was before YouTube when I got this. Boy. Yeah. So I ended up hitting the bolt release, and I didn't know what it did.
It came apart in your hands.
I almost cut my finger. Yeah. So it was one of those things. I'm like, okay, don't have your finger near this when you push that little button.
It's probably a good idea to know what you're doing when you're using a gun.
This is true.
I would agree with that with guns, chainsaws, anything that can hurt you.
Anything that's
probably ought to know.
The owner's manual.
You ought to know what you're doing there.
Yeah, even though people take classes, there's you still forget information.
Well, these things are perishable skills.
They are perishable skills.
So you need to if you need to take a refresher course, you should do that.
Yeah, totally. I won a gun recently at an event. I won a Tavor X95.
Ooh, I may have one of those.
Very cool. So when I went and picked it up from my buddy, he's like, here's how you do this, here's how you do this, here's how you do this. And I'm like, I'll just read the owner's manual. Didn't come with an owner's manual. It's a 101-page PDF document on the website. So I haven't read it. It's still sitting in the closet.
When you get that done, come on over and give me a class.
There we go. Yeah, next time we're coming down, we're going to fly an airplane.
Yeah,
that's going to be badass. And the shotgun, we're going to shoot the...
you want to stay right side up or you want to look up? No, just kidding.
No, I do not want to stay right side up. Let's flip this baby upside down. You guys are open all year round?
We are. I live here on the property, so it makes it easy for me to operate it because it's like having on-site security.
Right.
One, but two, if something needs taken care of, I'm here. I've got to if we do have snow, whatever, I've got to plow the driveway anyhow for me to get out. So we stay open.
That's cool.
If it's horrible, if it's lightning, if it's pouring down rain, I close. But
gotcha.
If you're a big duck hunter and want to hunt and shoot in the rain, I'll get you started and I'll go back home and sit by the fire.
That's awesome. What I like about you talked about sporting clays being real world. I never did sporting clays until a couple years ago.
Right.
I always thought it was trap and skeet, and skeet seemed a little too confusing because I never know if it's a high house or the low house. So I did trap up. I went through a stage of doing a little bit of trap, and then once I tried sporting clays, I'm like, oh my god, this is awesome.
So you must be a musician.
Yes,
because it's high house, low house, doubles,
and
it goes like that.
See, I can't even remember that much.
Okay. No problem.
But yeah, once I found out that everything, when I try to explain sporting clays to people, I'm like, it's like golf. Everyone is different. Every station is different. The clays come from different areas, and they'll come towards you, and they'll go away from you, and they'll roll on the ground and do all sorts of really cool
We have
things.
different kinds of clays. We have the standard clay, which is the bulk of what we throw. We have the rabbit that rolls on the ground. Sometimes I'll take the rabbit target, which is a heavier hunk of clay that rolls on the ground, and I'll throw it in the air, and it falls differently because it has a little more mass to it. It doesn't have an aerodynamics to where it kind of lingers. It falls faster, and that throws people off.
Sure.
Then we have Batus, which is a skinny flat target that always makes a turn, and we have Minis, a little 70 millimeter target that looks like it's farther away than it is. So I have a lot of and then I can even mess with you even more by throwing in a left-handed trap that makes it spin the other way.
Wow.
And yeah, there's some of those out here mixed in that people don't know.
That's pretty cool.
So
I think I hit some of those yesterday.
On the white
Sorry,
coals, for sure.
I didn't hit those yesterday.
Came upon them.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, we still use the ammo, we still use the clays, but not together. Competitions. Do you have some competitions?
Sure, we do a what we call a fun shoot, typically once a month here. And that's why I move all the traps every month. I go out for the competition the night before the competition. I move them all so that the people who shoot here regularly don't have an advantage over the person that comes here for the shoot.
Very
so
cool.
I'll move them so that on that day of the shoot, everything is brand new for everybody.
That's cool. How long does it take to do that?
It takes me
It's going to take several hours, right?
2 people, 8 to 10 hours.
Yeah, I could imagine.
You know, if you're moving it,
Mm-hmm.
and then
And you
I
gotta
have a
test
young,
it?
then I come back and have to shoot it. So I normally do that on Thursday.
Mhm.
Friday I shoot it and load all the traps. That will be 2,000 to 4,000 pounds of clays get loaded into the machines, and they're ready to go for the Saturday tournament.
This is
It's
a pretty
more work
cool
than
gig.
people know.
Right, I'm sure.
You know, I mean, even the little fields, every one of them need to get mowed. And,
Yeah.
And
It's back in my gigging days. I always say it wasn't the glamorous life that I anticipated.
right.
Right.
Well, there are parts of it that really are. And I love the tournaments. People come to the tournaments and I can sit and visit and greet them in the parking lot. And they see me standing around enjoying the day.
Right.
They didn't see me the day before.
Right. Humping all the stuff around.
Right.
Moving everything and
Right.
sweating.
But that's what keeps me young.
Yeah,
You know, I'm 97 years old now, and
Don't look.
maybe
don't,
that's not quite true.
Don't get that over 62.
Thank you. So,
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, we need to get back.
Yeah.
You've got to open up soon.
we do. We open up soon.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to put some links to the website. But where do people go to find?
CentralVirginiaSportingClays.com.
CentralVirginiaSportingClays.com. If you need to get in touch with Brad, send him an email, and then your phone number's on there as well.
Yeah. Best thing is to call me. Or
Right.
Yeah.
It's call him and tell him you sent him an email. There.
I'm really bad at the internet.
No, that's okay, man.
If it's worth anything to you all, when I moved here, it took us 5 years to get electricity here, so I am a little behind the curve.
Right, but you were telling us yesterday you got what, Fios or
We got fiber out here
You got fiber.
this year for the first time.
that's pretty cool.
I got to learn what that is, but I know we have fiber. So.
Right. Having fiber used to mean something else.
Exactly. So that's what my doctor told me. Have more
Right,
fiber.
have more fiber. You had no idea.
So I ordered something, and it came. It's finally down to the house.
Now you get all this internet all the time. You're
Exactly.
watching games and
So I
live.
told my doctor, yeah, I got fiber. He didn't understand.
Not according to his charts.
Exactly.
Oh my God,
Sorry.
that's awesome. All right, so we're going to put some links for Central Virginia Sporting Clays. Please make sure that you, if you are not a member of the Second Amendment Foundation, you can join them at saf.org, and there's going to be a link below. You can sign up there as well. You can find all of your favorite pro-freedom podcasts at sdrn.us. That's the Self-Defense Radio Network. And obviously, if you've made it this far, you need to share the show with your friends. We will see you guys next time. Thanks a lot.